All right, what's going on, you guys? Nick here with Nick Strength and Power, and I wanted to make a bodybuilding video again. I'm starting to miss bodybuilding, so I wanted to make a video about the most dangerous rookie pro bodybuilder right now, meaning a pro bodybuilder that's never competed before and their first show is coming up. And that show is going to be the Tampa Pro coming up in 6 weeks. And that bodybuilder is Hunter Labrada. Now, Hunter actually won his pro card back in late 2018, and he has not competed since then, and he took that time off the past year, almost 2 years now. I think it was November of 2018. And he took that time to really build his physique and bring a package to the pro stage that would really be dominant. He didn't want to come out of the gate with his pro card and not do well. He wanted to make sure he put something together that was going to be very competitive, and I think he's done that. He's a very complete bodybuilder. Obviously, he's the son of the legendary Labrada. Liberado, obviously a legendary bodybuilder. You could call him a classic bodybuilder at this point, competing in the 80s and 90s. He was a two-time runner-up at the Mr. Olympia in 89 and 1990. And he has a very different physique than his son has. He was more of a classic physique, very posing-oriented, and very conditioning-oriented for that time period. So you couldn't really ask for much better genetics or much better of a mentor or training partner than having Labrada as a dad. So Hunter Labrada has a very different physique. He's posted a lot of recent updates as far as physique updates going into this Tampa Pro. I would call him somewhat of a mass monster, to be honest with you guys, especially in comparison to his dad. Like I said, two very different physiques. The one thing that I like the most about Hunter's physique is the graininess that he has. He's got an extremely grainy physique, and I would almost compare him to like a Branch Warren from a density standpoint. I think if you look at some of Hunter's front poses, like this most muscular here, you can really see a lot of the same qualities that you would see in Branch Warren, although Branch's legs obviously much more of a standout feature in these poses. But the vascularity, the striations in the chest, the graininess, the hardness, and of course the overall muscularity, very similar to Branch Warren, and I like that about his physique. He's got a very unique look to his physique. And while holding all that muscle, even though he doesn't have the prettiest physique and the prettiest structure, he still maintains a pretty aesthetic look to his physique and a pretty small waist. Now, if you go through some of the photos that he posted here at this 6 weeks out update for the Tampa Pro, which is coming up here in August, I believe, he says he's weighing in the 260s, so 262 fasted, 266 post-training. To give you guys some perspective, a lot of the guys in the top 6 at the Mr. Olympia this past year were in the 220s and 230s, maybe even lower with guys like Hadi Chupin. So for an IFBB pro bodybuilder, weighing in the 260s is a pretty big guy, especially at 6 weeks out. So if we go through some of the photos he posted, one of the ones that I wanted to look at besides these two most musculars was this crunched abs and thighs, because this is one of those ones where I was talking about it reminded me a little bit of a Branch Warren type of grainy and dense physique. Even at 6 weeks out, you can see, some very good definition in his serratus muscles on his abs there. And you can see a little bit of cross striations going on in that outer quad sweep on his leg. That's kind of the similarity that I would draw to Branch Warren, just kind of that grainy, thick, dense physique, having all that muscle, but also having that look to the muscle, I think is very important and very unique, and something that doesn't come along all that often. And that's why I think he's one of the most dangerous rookie debuts that we have coming up. I mean, for a younger guy, he seems to have a lot of the size and that muscle maturity factor that a lot of people just don't have. And you see a lot of people turn pro nowadays that don't have size like this, and they don't have density like this. They don't have detail like this in their physique yet, but they get the pro card anyway. And I think Hunter taking that time off is going to make him a very dangerous competitor at this Tampa Pro. Now, I don't think we have an official competitor list for this show right now, but it is an Olympia qualifier, and it does have a $20,000 total cash prize for men's bodybuilding. I think it's $10,000 for first, which is a pretty good cash prize for pro bodybuilding. So I think you're going to see a lot of big names turn up there. Last year, you had the epic showdown between Dexter Jackson and Luke Sando. But last year, you got to keep in mind, the Olympia was still in September last year, so the Tampa Pro was like a last-minute qualifying opportunity for the Olympia. This year, the Olympia is in December, and they're cramming a bunch of shows into the fall. So I don't know who you're going to see show up at this Tampa Pro or who's in shape right now after all this quarantine stuff, but I do think you're going to have a decent lineup of bodybuilders there, and Hunter's going to have the opportunity to go up against some seasoned IFBB pros. Now, I believe the Tampa Pro weekend is going to be July 31st, July 30th through August 2nd, and I believe men's bodybuilding will be on the 31st. So it will technically be July, I think. in the Olympia this year is in December, so I don't know who you're going to see turn up here. But again, back to Hunter's photo. So if we go into this next one here, side tricep pose, I think it's a very good pose for Hunter. I think the front and side poses are his best shots. You can really see the vascularity going through his chest. Again, very similar to a Branch Warren type of physique. The vascularity running all the way down his arms. I think the side shots are very good for Hunter. The back shots, good shots. I think he could use a little bit more separation in his hamstrings. If you go to the back double bicep shot, I think a little bit more thickness in like the mid to upper lat area. I think he could use a little bit more thickness there. Side chest, another good shot for Hunter. But I want to get to my favorite shot of Hunter's here, and that is the front double bicep. I think the shape of the peaks of his biceps are just very impressive. He's got very good muscle bellies for his biceps. And when that ties into the flaring lats and the V-taper, and he's got good quads as well. For some reason, this pose to me just seems like a very dominant pose for Hunter. I think it's going to be a pose that's going to do very well for him at this Tampa Pro. I think you're going to see him look very good in this shot compared to other current pro bodybuilders. But again, you can kind of see what I was talking about with the lats. I think a little bit more flare in the lats and a little bit more thickness would really enhance his physique and really enhance that V-taper, even from the front. But I still prefer the front shots that he has. And then the final photo that he posted here was this front lat spread photo. In this photo, I would say I think he would need a little bit more separation in his abs from the front. He's got a little bit of distension in his lower belly there. But again, no signs of a bubble gut, very aesthetic physique. And really my only criticism of these shots would be probably the back and that front lat spread shot. But again, this is 6 weeks out. He's got plenty of time to improve. And I think I'm going to make a bold prediction here. At his pro debut, I think he's going to be solidly within the top 6 at this show. I think he's top 6 material at his pro debut at a show that's the caliber of the Tampa Pro. And I think right now he is the most dangerous rookie in pro bodybuilding. And I think you're going to see him do some serious damage here in late July, early August, whatever day the show lands on. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. For one, I'm excited to get back to pro bodybuilding news and talking about pro bodybuilding. I know a lot of you guys are excited for that as well. So give this video a thumbs up if you did enjoy it. Please subscribe to this channel if you want more pro bodybuilding coverage just like this, because the fall is going to be crazy with bodybuilding shows. So subscribe to this channel, and as always, Nick Strength and Power, signing out.